Well, I went and started messing around with the screen, and now I'm all jacked up. Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
$30.
I. What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, and I'm your host, Dwayne Stein, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. And if you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you could shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Hey, we got a great show planned for you today. We've had nothing but positive feedback, unlike the troll last week who trolled me. Nothing but positive feedback on the show. We've helped out a lot of people. We've gotten a ton of questions. If we can't get to them today, we'll get to them over the next couple weeks for you, getting those answered. But as you know, February's Credit Awareness Month, so today's going to wrap up our final show when it comes to credit awareness. We'll get back into some loans and different things like that starting next week. So today, look, on the first show of the month, we taught you about, in any of these shows, you could go subscribe to Mortgage Gumbo TV, which basically, hey, if you go to YouTube, just Google, if you go to YouTube, put in Mortgage Gumbo and you'll find it. More than 300 videos. You can follow us also, the Gumbo Nation group page, anywhere like that. To find all our past shows so you could get education options. What did we cover the first week? We covered the very first week of this month. We covered, hey, how is your credit score determined, right? We broke down the credit wheel. Last week we gave some tips and tricks on how you can get your credit score up with absolutely no cost, no obligation, or anything like that. This week, what we're going to be talking about is there's a lot of myths out there. You know, credit's almost like that reverse mortgage myth where everybody thinks, oh, my God, the first thing they think is, oh, it's horrible. So what we're going to discuss this week is we're going to talk about we're going to debunk a lot of these myths that are out there, you know, when it comes to inquiries, different things like that. We're going to take care of that. Or, disputes. Those are things that we're going to clear up for you today. So, hey, I get it. If for some reason you're busy or something like that, just go join the Gumbo Nation, like I said, the group page. Or you could also go to mortgagegumbo.com, click on past shows, and go from there. So, hey, if you're hanging out with me, watching me on social media, you can see I'm in my costume. I'm already fired up. Tonight is the crew of Mad Hatters. Excited to be riding again on Float 20. Bayou Charters float. It's a big redfish float. As y'all know, Cap, one lucky member is going to win a charter trip for 3 with Captain Charlie at the end of March. Each quarter this year, we're going to be giving a charter away to one of our Gumbo Nation group members. So excited about that. We're up to over almost 670-something people, so grew by another 40 or 50 people this week easily. So good stuff there. So dressed up in that float 20, neutral ground side, the very last rider. So kind of bummed right now. This is something, obviously, as a guy who's played sports his whole life, and my son's sort of doing that as well. Usually this is something that we sort of had planned to do together. And, the schedule came out last week on that Lakeshore's putting together a jamboree today, which I get. Hey, you need that, get that practice in before, the real games start and all that. And, so when they showed the game time was 2:45, I kind of looked at my son when he came home and I said, hey, what are you going to do about riding in the parade? And I said, I sure know what I would do. And he goes, Dad, I'm missing the parade. I love you and everything, but I'm missing a parade. And I'm like, you're darn right you are, man. So, look, one of the things I've always instilled in my son is once you start something, you finish it. He's committed. So, a lot of people are like, just tell a coach it's only a jamboree. It's not about that. It's just about instilling, hey, you started something, you're part of a team, and go get that done. So, will I miss the little whippersnapper not being next to me? Yeah, absolutely. But you know what that means? I loaded up his beads yesterday anyway, and probably not going to want to bring beads home. So, I'll probably be double chunking. So, again, be looking for me and hit me with a dad cam. But, so we'll miss it. Hey, it's kind of a father-son thing I look forward to, but priorities, right? And in the big scheme of things, it's important that he's there. He's like, Dad, I'm playing a lot. I'm starting, blah, blah, blah. I said, bro, go play baseball. I get it. Not a problem, man. That is for sure. So, good stuff there. Snap, send, and save dad cam. Listen, whether buying or refinancing or need to know about credit, we've gotten a ton of credit evaluations this week and over the last couple weeks because it's Credit Awareness Month. This is your one-stop shop, folks, okay? You can go to mortgagegumbo.com and get to it, or just go directly to snapsendandsave.com. If you click on services, listen, there's a link on there to sell or not to sell. And we're giving people an idea of, hey, here's what you're looking at, what your house could sell for, and this is coming from professionals. People going, hey, what is my value? I'm sending them a credit market analysis just to kind of give them an idea of what they're looking at, right? And then kind of saying, okay, well, if I were to sell, hey, how much could I get approved for the next loan? So taking a lot of advantage of that. So having some fun there. Plus, again, looking for something to do for the kids, want to educate them. Guess what? We've got a kids' corner in there, a coloring book. Right? There's a coloring book in there, but also teaches you a little bit about money, how much is a quarter, all that. Look, I'm not a teacher. I just put something in there if you want to keep the kids busy. So go check that out also. So lots of good stuff going on. We want to try to be that one stop for you with everything going on right now. I mean, you're looking at with the rates, the Fed, everything like that. There's tons happening. If you've got a HELOC, please listen. If you've got a HELOC, please listen. Traders, and the stock market's kind of like Vegas. They know what's coming. They're already starting to price in. Okay? They're already starting to price in not one but two. 0.5% interest rate hikes from the Fed. And again, here's what I want you to be aware of. And we talk about this, but it bears repeating because I had somebody going, hey, I know I heard the Fed talking. They're going to be raising mortgage interest rates. They've been doing that. Rates are up over 1.25% since last year. So they've been doing that. Again, the federal funds rate, everything that you're hearing them talk about right now, what that is what banks lend to banks. That's your short-term rates. Now, is it lining up at the same time as mortgage rates are going up? Yes. Well, why? We talked about that a couple weeks ago. You got 7.5% interest rates, right? I mean, 7.5% inflation right now. So there's a lot of different things that are going on that's raising that. They're trying to turn off this spigot. And I had a lady this week go, oh, well, I'm waiting to the midterms. And, however you vote, it is what it is. Look, you're listening to my show, so I'm going to give you my thought. Well, I'm going to wait to the midterms because then rates are going down. No, they're not. Like, the Republicans aren't going to come in and just all of a sudden go, all right, hey, we're going back to 20 and 21. 20 and 21 is sort of a reason why we are where we are right now. Now, it needed to be done, and kicking the can down the road like they did with the forbearances and all that stuff isn't good. I think it stayed on too long. But these rates should have been going on up for a long time. A long time. So they're not going to go up. You know what? Let's do interest rates. Housing is already going up. So when you look at home values, so they're trying to slow all that down. Everyone is. So waiting is not what I would say should be your game plan right now at all. I don't think that's something you should be going, hey, you know what? We're going to wait and see exactly what happens. That should not be your game plan. And I'm going to tell you why. And the data says it. And we're seeing it. Existing home sales in January were up 6.7%. That's an annualized pace of 6.5 million units, which is much stronger than estimates of a 4% drop. So when you look at it on a year-over-year basis, it's down 2.3% from last year, but it's nowhere near what they thought it was going to be. And everybody's like, well, it's quite miraculous considering that the interest rates and everything like that is going up. Here's what I could tell you. Take advantage of that. If people want to sit on the sideline, get in there and go get that home. Get pre-approved so you can go in and get it. Close in 12, close in 15 days so you can take advantage of the rates. First-time home buyers in January accounted for 27% of sales. Okay? That's down from 30%, whatever. Cash buyers rose from 23 to 27. While investors purchased 22% of homes, that's up 5% from 17%. Folks, to me, this is our competition, if you're listening. That foreign investor, that's where our competition lies. That's why it's so important to get pre-approved. And I know you go, oh, he's just get pre-approved down my throat. No, let me tell you why. Because if you're pre-approved and I send you to an agent and you're working with an agent, guess what? That agent's letting everybody and their grandma know if you got anything coming on the market, I got somebody approved for 250, 120, 1.8 million. So you could get ahead of these investors. But if you just sit back, the investors are going to continue to come in because they've got the money, they've got the cash, and they're willing to rock and roll. Foreclosures and short sales accounted for less than 1%. So, again, this kind of lines up with the investors as well. Because the banks aren't really going to have to get into the foreclosures. Because they're going to be able to get rid of these things prior to. And I have several people calling me going, all right, well, and this is unfortunate, but I'm out, my forbearance is over. I can't afford to make my payment. I'm 6 months past due. What can I do? The bank won't work with me. Folks, they're not going to. And I'm sorry. So what I would recommend you do is call me, let me get you with an agent, and sell that house before they take the house so you can make the money and not give it over to the bank. Then we put a plan for you to get you right and get you ready to buy in the next year and a half, 2 years. But don't just sit back and think. The bank's not going to go, oh, it's okay. Or the investor, so to speak. We sat on the sideline for a lot of years waiting while this stuff was going on, not making a penny. So keep that in mind. If you don't know what should I do, how should I do it, again, go to snapsendandsave.com, click on services, and I could get a professional in touch with you to help you out. You make the money. Don't give it up. All right, on the other side of the break, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about rates. What's going on with Rate Watch? And the main topic on the show today, we are debunking those credit myths. Stay tuned. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com.
If you go to New Orleans, oh, the phone's ringing. Check your phone, bro.
I
All right, 20 seconds.
All right.
Mardi Gras mambo, 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 Mardi Gras mambo, 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 Mardi Gras mambo.
Down in New Orleans. Yes, indeed. It's Mardi Gras season. We're getting it rocking and rolling. Excited. Crew of Mad Hatters going tonight. Check it out. We'll be there making it happen for this afternoon. 5 o'clock, I think, in Metairie. It's part of Family Grow Weekend, so head on out there. Hey, if you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. All right, so let's talk about, I saw an article came out this week, and there's some local cities here, and I thought I would share. It's kind of interesting with some of the local cities, what your credit scores are. So let's kind of go into this. This is by Wallet Hub. Las Vegas has the worst scores nationwide out of the big cities. Now, what made a big city? The big cities were, large cities were more than 300,000 people, mid-size 100,000 to 300,000, and then small cities fewer than 1,000. Top cities with their credit, the Villages in Florida. It's funny, they call it, that used to be a retirement community, and then they call it a city, and it's no secret here. They're at 806. Number 2 is 792 is Sun City, West Arizona, and Oro Valley, Arizona. I looked up. Those median age on those is very, 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 very high. So listen to these scores, all right? Vegas is number 2. Glendale, Arizona. That city's average credit score is a 517. 517. Las Vegas. Might help if I could find my, gotta love live radio here. Gotta love it. Here it is. Here it is. It fell. Okay. Las Vegas. Number 2. Las Vegas with a credit score of 532. Right? 532. Who do you think's number 3? Number 3. In the entire United States of America, who has the city with the worst, third worst credit score in the United States, in the country? New Orleans is in the house, baby! New Orleans is in the house! 552. 552. And I mean, the Gumbo Nation's larger than ever, so maybe it's just folks who have New Orleans as their city aren't listening. Y'all need to start sharing that a little bit more. 552 in New Orleans. Jackson, Mississippi, do quite a bit of business out of there. A 630. Shreveport, the Yankees of Louisiana, 649. And these are cities that checked in, so don't be like, hey, where is, Ouachita on here? It was determined by cities that, I guess they can't list every single city in the country. Shreveport, 649. Baton Rouge! Calling Baton Rouge. 11:50 a.m. WJBO affiliate out there as we take Mortgage Gumbo to take over the region, then the nation on the 5-year plan. Baton Rouge, 669. Laffy Taffy, Lafayette, Louisiana, 689. And then Metairie, where I'll be throwing beads tonight. Just hit me with your best dad cam. Float 20, neutral ground side. Last rider. Metairie, look at y'all. Show-offs. 712. Nice job there. 712 for Metairie. So those are the cities that showed up that were heard in Gulfport, Biloxi, any of Picayune. None of those cities showed up, so I guess it's all based on the population there. But New Orleans, you got work to go, work to do. So I'd strongly encourage you to go to SnapSend and Save DATCAM, click on Services, and then click on Credit Evaluator so we can get to work and get your credit corrected. But nice job, Metairie, 712. Again, Lafayette, 689. Baton Rouge, 669. Shreveport, 649. Jackson, Mississippi, 630. And NOLA, puke at 552. All right, let's get into our weekly segment. We like to call Rate Watch. Rate Watch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's America's first handcrafted vodka. Working on my voice. I might start. Dave, I know you're the pseudo voice of iHeartRadio being heard all over the country.
The country, yes.
Yeah, let's get that straight. Yes, the country. I'm working on mine, man. I don't know. I feel like there's some opportunity there. And then I also, for anybody that wants to, if you want to hire Mortgage Gumbo, I want to just remind folks out there, hey, I'm ordained. I'm a man of the cloth. You hire Mortgage Gumbo, I'll come in and do your ceremony. And I'll tell you what, we'll rock it. It'll be memorable.
Get one mortgage, get one marriage free.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Buy a loan, get a lover. You know what I'm saying? So.
This has so much potential. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a marketing dream, right? All right. 30-year. And, let me kind of stop before we go over the rates here. Listen, we talk about it, and for you who are new to the show may not be aware of this, but for 7+ years, throw in the 2.5 years I've been on Greg Rick's, 10 years you've been hearing this face for radio voice. Folks, we've talked about world strife, right, and how world strife helps rates. Well, right now you're seeing a little bit of an advantage because rates as of Wednesday were really going up big time, and they came back a little bit on Thursday and Friday, and here's why. This stuff with Ukraine and Russia, it looks like it's getting serious, and it's going to be real, right? So anytime. That doesn't mean, hey, sit back. Doesn't mean we sit here and go, hey, bomb the heck out of them. But at the same time, that is what right now, because when this happens, people go, well, why, Dwayne? Why does that? People take a safe haven when it comes to their money. And there's nothing safer than 10-year treasuries. There's nothing safer than mortgage-backed securities when the average credit score across the country is 720 plus, right? There's nothing safer than putting your money in something that you go, all right, as long as these people pay their loans back, we're making money on them, right? And it's safe. It's easy. Bonds are simple. It's not stocks up and down, right? Did you invest in the bullets that the government didn't use? That type of deal. So that's why people go, well, you always talk about that. That's the why, folks. That's the behind the scenes. I know on radio I try to keep things, in layman's terms where if I can't understand it, I know you won't. So I try to make it as easy as possible. So 30-year, last week was at 4.05. This week, 4.08. Okay? That's holding steady. But that's because of everything going on. All right? 15-year was at 3.31, is at 3.33. FHA, 3.75, 3.68. Jumbo, 3.55, 3.59. 5-1 ARM, 3.72. Don't see any reason why you would even touch those. And HELOCs. It's coming. Join your brethren. Or is it brethren? What is it? Join your fellow Gumbo Nations. The Gumbo Nationites. And go to SnapSendAndSave.com, click on refinance, and let's see what paying out that HELOC can do for you. Because people are starting to calculate their payments, and they're realizing, well, sitting at zero the last couple years, that payment wasn't so much. Now you start seeing where it's going to go, and it gets a lot uglier, a lot quicker. Take advantage of that equity. And then VA is in the mid-3s. So when it comes to rates, folks, look, rates aren't something, it's a number on a piece of paper. And I'm going to continue to repeat that as I always have. You cannot, what happened over the last 2 years, it's in the past. Let it go. Control the controllable. You haven't missed the boat, so to speak. So let's help you with the things that we can help you with. So what if the rates are higher than what they were a year ago? So what? So what? You're going to rent? Rents are up on 15%. Think about it that way. Interest rates are up 1%. Rents up 15% across the nation. Put that into perspective, folks. So we can show you. That's why you need to work with a mortgage advisor. That's why you go to mortgagegumbo.com or you go to snapsendandsave.com. So we can look at what your options are. Options. And we close your loans in 15 days or less when you're pre-approved. So that means we're going to lock you in at the lowest rate possible. We don't have to lock you in at 30 and 45-day rates. All these other mortgage companies and lenders right now, affectionately as we call them, smuckatellis, you know what they're doing right now? They're laying people off. Go read it. All your banks, all your schmucks are laying people off because they didn't have the foresight to know what was coming. They don't know. You're fortunate. If you listen to this show, go out and tell people about it because we're making sure that we keep the facts and the truth to you. All right, on the other side of the break, we're getting into our topic. We're getting into our topic as we debunk these credit myths. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995. Man, I do not know
what's it called? Gumbo Nationers? Gumbo Landers?
No,
Gumbites?
Gumbo Nights, yeah. I do not know what I did messing with my stuff earlier, which that'll teach you. And I know it's something goofy because now my green screen is green behind me. And my face should just be popping up, but it's not. It's it's me like in the green screen.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
You are in the corner, yeah.
You see, but I got green behind me.
Yeah, that's weird.
So what I'm wondering is, see, like my head used to pop up right there. So
yeah, right.
Could be worse, brother. Could be worse.
You're moving.
Yeah. Could be worse.
That is weird.
Yeah. So we'll just do it this way right now, and
well, you know, it's parade day.
Right.
As long as we got technical difficulties on that, and that's all, we're golden.
Yes.
Just 4 wheels on the float, and then we're good. 4 wheels.
Yeah. No gunfire, please.
Oh, sheesh, man.
All right.
Well, you know, we had 3 parades in New Orleans last night, and as far as I know, we didn't have any real issues. Of course, I didn't watch the news this morning, but
that's probably good.
Well, the Q93, the boombox was in the parade last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't get to go. It sucked.
Let me know if you head out to Metairie or anything with your boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna go tonight, and then we got tomorrow. One of his friends from school, his mom invited us. They got stand tickets out there in Metairie, and apparently, Chris, our promotions girl, gave me VIP passes to Family Graw. So I don't even know what that means.
Well,
I've never been out there yet.
I want those, but, I didn't want to brag, but Beth and Tori hooked me up too with some. And
sweet.
So tonight, like the former singer for Heart Now, dude, you get to go backstage and meet him and all, dude.
Get out, really?
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
Score.
Yeah.
I interviewed Debbie Boone this week.
Oh, yeah?
You light up my life. She's re-releasing all her hits, but it was funny. She got some some good old school, Mac the Knife and all the Frank Sinatra sort of tunes. She redid them. Yeah, it was cool, man. I was grooving out to Mac the Knife all day.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do research.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 30 seconds.
You give me more. God, dude, I can't believe you did that to me. We're back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Come see me tonight. Captain Charlie Thomason's Bayou Charters float Nutri-Ground side, Float 20. It's a big redfish. I'm the last rider on Float 20 Nutri-Ground side. This segment, my bad, Fence King, forgot to mention it, brought to you by the Fence King. Visit fencethisyard.com. He introduced the virtual fence designer. But then he brought you galvanized posts that withstand tropical storm winds up to 73 miles an hour. And now the king has gotten into aluminum fencing. You want decorative fencing. You don't want to pay those prices. You don't want high maintenance, but you want it just to look sexy and your yard look pretty. You want that Orleans style, but don't want to pay those wrought iron prices. The Fence King's got it. No rust or weather problems. And he guarantees all his work. It comes with a workmanship warranty. This dude's the man. Visit fencethisyard.com. fencethisyard.com. Hey, our topic we're going to be talking about today as we continue credit awareness is, again, what are we looking at? How can I debunk some of these, when we're talking about, I want to help you get rid of what some of these myths are that you're hearing, right? And first, let me repeat this because it bears repeating, okay? 22% of you listening, or 1 in 4, okay, you have an error on your credit report. So 1 in 4 of you have an error on your credit report. Now, the schmuckatellis, i.e. credit repair companies, know this. And that's why they tell you, oh, we can help. And then what's the first thing you do? Well, I don't know. That's not mine. That's your reaction. That's all, everybody I talk to. Oh, I don't know. That's not mine. And I'm like, all right, well, let's think for a little bit. And they're like, well, okay. It's the ex-girlfriend. I bought her a phone and she didn't pay it. But so you truly do have issues on your, not issues, but errors on your credit. So you know what? 1 in 4 of you are right. See, you one line, and we believe you. But what I want you to understand is the answer is not to immediately go just dispute everything. What you do instead is you work to get it removed or corrected. And you do that by contacting the credit bureau, asking them what is their policy, so you go through it. Then when you go through that, they have to respond. This isn't like when I first started and you never heard from these people. They've got to respond to you in 30 to 45 days to help get that corrected for you. That's why a huge myth is, and people go, well, dispute it. No, you can dispute it in theory, but let's get it corrected. Because that address that's not on there, the name that's not really you, those are the things, your friend, in college, your room dogs called you Frank the Tank. Well, let's get that off the credit bureau. Because if it's not true, then we got to remove it. But if it is true, it's got to stay there. So disputes, you got to stay. That's one of the myths I want to make sure. You don't go just disputing everything, folks. Because what happens is when a score has to be done, when a credit decision has to be made, disputes, depending on how much they are, have to be removed. And that will normally reduce your score. So let's get into a couple of these myths here. All right? Checking your report will hurt your score. This is false. Okay? Now, here's what I want to repeat. Checking your score for accuracy, monitoring your score is amazing. Nobody in today's day and age should not have an idea of what's on their credit and have a general idea of what the score is. Okay? But there's checking your report. Let me get into this for you. There's 2 types of inquiries. Okay? There is a soft pull versus a hard pull. Soft versus hard. Get your minds out of the gutter. I know right now what you're thinking about when I say soft versus hard. You're thinking about eggs. So stop it. But when it comes to applying for credit, a hard pull is when a credit decision's being made for a loan. Inquiries will stay on your credit for up to 2 years. A soft pull, which is, hey, you're applying for a job or a credit monitoring service, that's the big differences right there. Those will not. So no, checking your score will not hurt when it is a soft pull. Okay? Closing a credit card will help your score. We talked about this at length when it came to the 30%, which is credit utilization, right? And credit history. You don't want to close that credit card out because then you lose that history. The last thing you want to do is have that Sears card you've been having for 20 years, paying on greatly, all of a sudden chop it up and close it out. No. Then you lose that history. The only way you want to get rid of that is, do you have some kind of temptation? Is it unbearable? You can't stop not wanting to spend the money. If that's the case, go put it in a safe, go bury it in the yard, go do what I do and put it somewhere and you forget about it. That way you remove that temptation. But you do not, I repeat, you do not want to close out those credit cards. Here's one I get all the time. There is only one single credit score. No, that's incorrect. Folks, there's thousands of scoring models out there, right? One of the most popular ones outside of the FICO score that 99.9% of lenders use is FICO 8, right? That's one of the scoring models that the FICO 8, which is where, you're getting your soft pulls that are coming from Credit Karma and stuff like that. And I've been telling y'all now since the beginning of the year, we've been working on things to help you out, all of you. And that's why on Snap Send and Save Services now we have that credit evaluator. Because we have the ability to run a credit score. If you're looking at purchasing a home, we have the ability to run that credit score. That's the same one that we use when we're making a mortgage decision. So my thoughts are, let's work off of what is real. Credit Karma, great for monitoring, but not for getting that credit decision, okay? So, no, there is not one score. There's thousands of scoring models, okay? And people go, well, why do you get 3 different scores? Well, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, it all depends. Why you got 3 different scores on a credit bureau is maybe one creditor reports to 2 of them, but maybe not the 3rd one. Now, maybe they haven't reported at the time that you have the credit pulled. And one more myth here before we go to the break. Better job, better score. No, I hear that all the time. Well, I got a raise, I got a great job. You should be able to lend me money. Listen, I'm proud of you. I am so happy for you that you've got a great job. That's going to allow you to take care of your family, prioritize, and really just have some things taken care of. But what you got to understand is this. I just had a couple that came in from Dallas, right? And, my husband, he got a new job with a huge raise. Got some money, got a transfer, got some money. Well, that will use some of that money to improve the score. But that doesn't just give you, hey, you got a raise, or now you called assistant manager, a manager, or whatever you're called. That doesn't go into the credit bureaus and they go, hey, you get a bump there or you get a great score. On the other side of the breaks, we are debunking myths versus facts when it comes to credit. It's Credit Awareness Month. We're wrapping that up right here on Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein on 99.5 WRNO. just don't know what I did. Gumbo Nation! The weather is beautiful. The weather is beautiful. I'm getting the arms cranked up. I'm ready. I'm going to be chunking. Chunking. Point at me. Make me feel special out there. Be like you. I see you. I see you. Challenge my cannon. Or as my coach in high school used to say, the cobra. Because when I crank that bad boy, it looked like a cobra. Wow! Strike. And hey, good luck to the Lakeshore Titans today. So they'll be taking on North Shore. They got the Titan Jamboree. If you're on the North Shore and you just want to go see some good baseball, you got defending state champs, Jesuits playing over there today. North Shore, Fontainebleau, Warren Easton, and Slidell. 6 teams. Go out there, check it out. Tell them Mortgage Gumbo sent you. That won't get you anything, but...
All right, 15 seconds.
All right.
Talking about it now. It now. I go out there.
Crew Mad Hatters, Bayou Charters, Float 20, neutral ground side, final rider. The last rider. They saved the best for last on the neutral ground side. I mean, they said they wanted me to be in front of the judges' stand. I get it. They want me, almost famous, leader of the Gumbo Nation, the Gumbo Nationites. I don't know. We got to come up with something there. But we're talking about myths. We're debunking credit myths. So, here's a myth. Your credit score accounts for demographics. Now, credit reports don't list your income. They don't provide demographic information either. Credit bureaus aren't woke. They just report the data. Here's one that I see and I've heard. Oh, my gosh. Lovebirds have a joint credit report. No, you don't. You could have joint credit, but you're not going to have the same score. So just imagine you swiped right. You meet that guy or girl of your dreams. You're sitting down, you're having your first drink, and, man, everything is falling into place. Love is in the air. You're feeling it. Everything's great. You know what? You just know instantaneously. Just come up with hey, as you order that second drink, be like, hey, show me your FICO score. Let's just find out right here and now because there is no 2 scores. So be careful before you say yes to the dress or yes overall or you get on a knee. Keep that in mind. What are you marrying? What kind of credit? Bad scores last forever. Well, it just depends on the choices you've made, folks. Okay, we've talked about that. Hey, bankruptcies, foreclosures, 7, 10 years, those things are sitting on your credit. Okay? So letting them go to collections, that's not going to help. And that kind of goes in line with, it takes a long, one of the things I get all the time is, well, my credit won't go bad. I've got good credit. It's not going to, it takes a long time for your credit score to go bad. Well, that depends. How much debt do you have? How are you using it? You get one credit card that all of a sudden's late 30 to 60 days, your score is going to fall big time. Big time. So be careful there. Because the decisions you're making, and we've talked about what credit is, it's good and bad decisions that you've made throughout your life, is what your credit score is from a financial standpoint. So, those inquiries, different things like that may stay on there. The other thing I want to talk about with inquiries real quick as you are thinking about making loans. There's a big difference when it's Christmas time and you go to 10 different department stores and you apply to get 10% off compared to when you go to look at getting a mortgage. So just like I tell people, any lender out there that's telling you, hey, a first-time home buyer program or a realtor out there that you're working with tells you there's first-time home buyer programs, know that they don't know what they're talking about. Because there is no such thing as a first-time home buyer program. Just like when it comes to having your credit pulled, the credit bureaus understand. They know who's pulling the credit on the hard inquiries, and you have minimal to no credit change at all when people are pulling your credit within 30 to 45 days. So I want you to be aware of that so you can see with confidence. So when somebody goes, oh, do not go have your credit pulled, it can affect it. No, that's incorrect. So when we do the 10 commandments of saying, hey, don't let anybody else pull your credit, that's after you're approved and that's after you're under contract. We don't want you going out doing the same as cash, getting credit pulls. Don't go looking at getting a vehicle because we don't want you taking on new debt. That's why. We don't want to have to count that debt since you're already approved. Does your credit score measure your value as a person? No, folks, it doesn't. There's a lot of unscrupulous people out there that have great credit scores. And there's some great people who fall on hard times who have challenge scores. But again, credit scores do not measure your value as a person. Just like credit scores, how much money you have in a bank. Well, I got $100,000 to put down. I get it. But you haven't paid a debt in the last 3 years on time. So it does not matter how much money you have in today's day and age. What is your ability, your willingness, your ability, your capacity to pay back debt? That's what the investors want to see. That's what we're looking at. We talked about disputing. Let's see. Not having any debt means you have good credit score. No, folks, it doesn't. And I know there's some old school folks out there who like to say, oh, I pay everything with cash. Well, then you probably don't have a credit score that is where it should be. Now, if you're new to the game, that's where we help you out. That's where we maybe go look at getting a secured credit card. And I got yelled at, gosh, this was a couple months ago because somebody went and got a secured credit card and they yelled at me because their score went down. Well, they didn't ask the person were they past due or not. And the person they asked was like, sure, that's not a problem. They were 60 days past due. And had been over the limit for the past 4 months on their credit card. So they had all kinds of late charges. So now you got to go back and say, oops, my bad. But now that's affected your score. You can't go back and go, hey, sorry about that. So then even after it got removed, it never got back up to where it was. So that's why you got to have that conversation. And that's why I want to make sure one of the biggest myths is this, that you have to use a credit repair company. No, if you've learned anything over the last 3 weeks is credit repair companies are schmuckatellis. You do not need them. They cannot do anything for you that you can't do for yourself. And all they're going to do is charge you for things that you can do. It's very simple for you to come up with a game plan on what you need to do. But disputing all your accounts, all those other type of things, just some huckster can't just go fixing your credit. So understand that. Understand that. Question just came in. Can I help my adult son get a better deal on his car by making him an authorized user on my credit cards? This is from Jenna Mandeville. Yes. Yes, you can. Absolutely. If you make him an authorized user. That's much better than you going to co-sign. Because if you co-sign, that debt becomes yours. So that you have to understand.
2 minutes, 2.
Got a ton of questions here, but let me try to knock this one out. Went through a devastating divorce settlement. My credit score has plummeted over 100 points. Will it continue to get worse? And how can I rebuild my score going forward? Pat, here's what I would tell you. Hey, go to the credit evaluator on snapsendandsave.com and let me look at it and see. Will it continue to get worse? It depends. If it's plummeting and you're 60 days past due right now on something because maybe your ex was supposed to be paying it and he's showing you by not paying it, yes, it will continue. We got to stop the bleeding some way, shape, or form. Because that 60-day, when it goes to 90, 120, or even worse, charged off, or if it's a mortgage, yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have a lot more pain coming. Hey, you can catch this show and all the other shows. Go subscribe to Mortgage Gumbo TV. Go to YouTube, type in Mortgage Gumbo, and become a subscriber. More than 300 shows. Folks, education and options. That is my number one goal for you. That's all I want to do is help you when it comes to your most valuable asset, and that is your home.
1 minute.
If you don't have nothing going on this afternoon, go check it out. We roll at 5. Mad Hatters, the old traditional Bonneville, up to Vets, up and down Severn, ends up at Clearview. Go check it out.
30.
Neutral ground side, final rider. Be the good-looking guy with a costume on and a mask completely covering my face and a hat. So I'll be bringing sexy all over the place. Hit me with a dad cam! Hit me with it, Gumbo Nation! Till next week, Gumbo Nation! Go out and tell somebody to go check out Mortgage Gumbo and keep stirring the pot!
Woo! Clear.